Good evening. I'm Isidoro Nieto, President of Weslaco ISD School Board of Trustees. This regular board meeting is being conducted in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice that this meeting has been posted online for at least 3 business days prior to the meeting date. The time now is 5:33 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. I will begin roll call. Dr. Jaime Rodriguez.
Present.
Coach Armando Cuellar.
Present.
Mr. Ben Castillo.
Present.
Mr. Eddie Serna.
Present.
And Mr. Mark De Los Santos.
Present.
And myself, Jackie Sustaita. Oh, right here, perfect timing. Mrs. Jackie Sustaita, present. Invocation, Dr. Rivera.
Yes, you go on this time is Mr. Diaz.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Would you please bow your heads? Gentlemen, if you're wearing a hat, would you please be so kind to remove it in reverence to the Lord? Let us pray. Heavenly Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, how great and mighty you are. There is no one like you. Thank you for the gift of life, health, family, friends, strength, and ability to work to provide for our families. We thank you for the joyous spirit that Christmas brings to the hearts of those around us. We rejoice in your humble birth in a lowly manger to bring light and salvation to us all. The greatest gift that Christmas brings is your love towards each of us. Father, as is always our petition, we ask you to continue to bless and grant greater wisdom to our Superintendent, Dr. Richard Rivera, and our board. May your will be done in our board meetings. Help us always to maintain integrity in what you have left in our care. Help us always to be focused on the betterment of boys and girls in Weslaco ISD. Bless our administrators and teachers with wisdom, integrity, patience, the physical and mental strength, and rest as this first half of the year ends and the second begins. Above all, bless our students with divine protection, physical and mental health, and providence. May their homes and our classrooms be filled with love and support, not only in Christmas, but every day of the year. Please allow all of our staff and students to return back to school safely at the end of the holidays. We ask you all this in your precious and mighty name of Jesus. And everyone says, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Trevino. Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge.
Mr. Butler?
Good evening. At this time, we'd ask everyone to please stand, place their right hand over their heart, and face the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'd ask everyone to please remain standing, right hand over their heart, and face the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Number 5, awards and recognitions and proclamations. Dr. Rivera.
Mr. Carlos Romero? We have several.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Rivera, Mr. Board President, members of the board. We have a lot to celebrate tonight and a lot of recognition, so let's get right to it. First, we're going to start off, we have some members of the NAP NAP Community Cares Foundation to step up, along with some FCCLA students. Since 2015, Weslaco High School Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America members have served a dedicated community advocates leading the way in Adopt a Park initiative in partnership with the city of Weslaco. This evening, Weslaco High is proud to announce that the NAP Community Care Foundation has awarded the FCCLA charter with $59,732.50 in funding to build a toddler playscape at Gibson Park. This marks the 4th consecutive year that KCCF has invested in Weslaco High, supporting its mission to strengthen the health and well-being of the Mid-Valley. Joining us tonight for the check presentation from the NAP Community Care Foundation are Ms. Millie Hernandez, Director of Grants and Programs, Ms. Cristina Yepes, Grant Specialist. We also have Dr. Paula Garcia, Board Chair. With us also is Montse Montalvo, Board Member. Congratulations to Weslaco High School and our outstanding FCCLA members on this incredible achievement. Your commitment to service continues to make a lasting impact on our community of Weslaco. Let's give them a round of applause. We'd also like to recognize the students of these parents, if they're, or the, the parents of these students, if they're here. Can they please stand and be recognized? All right, congratulations. Up next, we have our next group of students, and tonight we want to congratulate several members of the Weslaco High School Mariachi Tecuani and Weslaco High School Mariachi Pantera. Let's give them a round of applause as they enter the room. Tonight we want to congratulate members of the Weslaco East High School Mariachi Tecuani and Weslaco High School Mariachi Pantera, who auditioned for and placed in the all-region, area, and state ensembles for the Texas Music Educators Association. Only the top mariachi students are selected for each instrument out of hundreds across the valley to comprise the all-region mariachi. At area, hundreds of students from across the state record a performance that is sent to a panel of judges. And we are proud to announce that Edward de Alva, representing Mariachi Tecuani, was selected an all-state alternate, and Ismael Castillo from Mariachi Pantera was selected to the all-state mariachi, earning first chair in guitar. Congratulations, students. And if the parents are here, can they please stand and be recognized, parents? Once again, let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations, students. Okay, up next, let's bring our next group into the room. How about a round of applause for our all-state academic athletes for the fall? Tonight, we want to congratulate several high school athletes who were recently named to the Academic All-State teams. These Academic All-State lists recognize high school athletes for their academic excellence in GPA, class rank, and ACT and SAT scores. We honor these students who perform with the highest academic excellence on and off the field, the court, and yes, even the swimming pool as well. So congratulations to the cross country, volleyball, water polo, and we also have some football athletes that are here as well for their academic success. Let's give them a round of applause. And parents, if you're here, can you please stand to be recognized? Parents. Up next, we'd like to recognize the Weslaco High School Panther football team. How about a big hand as they enter the room? Go ahead and line up. Dagger. Well, tonight we want to congratulate the Weslaco High School Panther football team. The Panthers recently captured the 31 6A district championship title with an undefeated district record. A round of applause, please. The football team also went on to win the by-district title and finished the season with a 9-3 record overall. This is the fourth consecutive year the Panthers advanced to the second round of the playoffs. Several team members also earned postseason distinction. So congratulations to them and head coach Roy Stroman. How about a round of applause? All right, and parents, if you're here, can you please stand to be recognized? How about a round of applause for our parents? All right, y'all want to turn around and give them a shake their hand? Coach Cardinals, how you doing?
Congratulations.
You have proclamation next?
Yeah, proclamation.
Proclamation.
Go ahead.
All right. We also have a proclamation, and this one is for you all. This is for the School Board Recognition Month, which will be in January. Let me read this for you guys, okay? Whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the educational needs of all children and to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society and an ever-changing world. And whereas local board members are elected by their community members to do what's best for students, and whereas local school board members work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our students. And whereas local school board members are responsible for ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school system. And whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectation to the district. Therefore, Dr. Richard Rivera, Superintendent of Schools for Weslaco ISD, does hereby proclaim January 2026 as School Board Recognition Month. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments for all the recipients? Mrs. Sutaita, anything for the parents or for all the academic achievements, of course, the football team?
It's amazing to see so many kids being academically successful and athletically successful because, you know, doing both. I know I have my kids, and when we went through high school ourselves, keeping up with your grades and your homework, also going to practice, it's not easy. So just very super proud of all the kids, and keep up the great work, coaches. We appreciate everything you're doing with them, and parents also. Thank you.
Dr. Jaime?
Yes, same, you know, especially the kids and the students, you know, being well-rounded, and to the parents, because I know it takes a lot for the parents to also be involved with the students, and thank you and congratulations.
Coach Cuellar?
I agree with everything you're saying. You know, it's amazing to look at all the positive things that are going on. And, you know, when you come to Weslaco ISD, the opportunities presented to each and every individual, if you take those opportunities, it's only going to make you stronger and better prepared for what's ahead when you finish high school. So keep doing a great job. I commend everybody for their excellence, and we're here to support your continued success. So thank you very much.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes, just congratulations to all students and parents, representing Weslaco ISD well and making all of us proud. I also want to throw a shout out to the Knapp Community Care Foundation folks. That was a big check they presented, so thank
Yes,
you.
they did.
Thank you to them as well for supporting the district, and just congratulations to all.
Coach Serna?
Yeah, well, same thing, a lot of the same, but good to see multi-sport athletes and multi-sports getting academic all-state recognition. It goes a long way, and it just proves that, you know, we have great athletes and very good academic scholars as well. So coaches, I congratulate you for the effort you put forward in nominating them, because it does take a little effort there. So again, it's all for the betterment of the kids and for our school. So I'm happy to see that. Also, all the effort, again, that parents put into it. I think most of us up here have been through that. So we recognize the parents as well. And
Miss-
I echo what Ben said about Knapp. Good job, Knapp.
Oh, yes, definitely. Mr. Los Santos?
Yes, that's a difficulty being last. Everybody has stated it a lot, but I'm going to reiterate congratulations to all the athletes, all the parents as well too, because they play a big role, as well as the educators as well, following up with them and working with them and keeping them on track. There's just so many great things going on, so it's amazing to see, because it's one of many things that you see here at WISD. So that was really great to see tonight, and congratulations to all of them as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, congratulations to all the parents and the students, but also to Coach Stroman, since he's here for the 4 years that he's been in the playoffs. So like he always says, he's gonna reload for next year. Correct, Coach Stroman? All right. So thank you, board members, for the positive comments, and we'll continue with our board meeting. Public comments, Dr. Rivera.
There too.
Eddie Albert? Please step up here to the podium. I will have Dr. Jaime read some guidelines to follow, and after that, you'll state your name and your address.
You want to go ahead and state your name and address, sir?
My name is Eddie Albert. I'm at 201 Johnson Circle in Weslaco.
Thank you. So I'm going to just read the script briefly, okay? Pursuant to the Texas Open Meeting Act, the Board of Trustees may not deliberate on any comment made by a member of the public on a subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of this meeting. As per the Texas Attorney General, the scope of board discussion for a subject not part of the meeting agenda is limited to only a proposal by a board member to place the subject on a future board agenda. Specific factual information or recitation of existing policy may be furnished in response to inquiries, but the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the portion of the meeting designated for that purpose. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless recognized by the presiding officer. No public comment presentation shall exceed 3 minutes. Any disruptive behavior by any speaker may result in the speaker's removal from participation in the meeting. Please be mindful of using names or personally identifiable information, as there is no immunity from defamatory comments while participating in public comments. You'll have 3 minutes, and I'll start the timer when you begin your presentation, sir.
Thank you. That made my presentation very brief. I did want to point out that I'm with VFW Post 12178, which is the local Veterans of Foreign War. And I apologize for saying that, because I have met people in town who did not know what VFW stood for. I've got a meeting scheduled later in the week, so I'll leave most of that stuff for that. But I did want to point out that we have annually given away a scholarship to students of local high schools and middle schools, Voice of Democracy, and called Patriot Pen. And we're looking forward to that becoming more publicly aware and getting a bigger response next year even than this year. Unfortunately, the district winner was not from Weslaco this year, but we did get some fine entries, and I'm really thankful for that. We are strong proponents of the JROTC programs, and we go to any and all community events that involve anything to do with veteran work or needs and students involved with patriotism. And that will conclude my comments for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I believe we only had one. It's the same, correct? It's the same person? It's for VMW Post. Yeah, it's just the first page. All right, we'll continue. Number 7, Superintendent's Report.
Yes.
Dr. Rivera.
Yes, I have a few slides, not that many this month. And let me start with the enrollment and staffing. As I informed the board, the enrollment were less than last year, and this is concerning. But it's not just Weslaco ISD. I think the whole valley, whole state is experiencing this. So the impact on the budget is about $2,500,000. On A, last year's ADA was set at 14.5. The final was 14,434. So we had a deficit of $561,000. This school year, the same thing. The budget is set at 14.5. As of the second 6 weeks, we're a little below this at 14,511. So we'll see how it goes out for the rest of the year. The principals are doing a very good job with the ADA. What's knocking us down is just the enrollment. Also for next year, as I have mentioned, we're going to be hit the impact of vouchers and virtual schools. So we have to be ready for this. And our goal is to let our kids know, okay, we're number one and we don't want them leaving anywhere else. And because of the enrollment, through attrition, there has to be a decline in our teachers, our staff, and administrators, again, through attrition. On page 2, I want to report the demolition of the old Central Middle School gym. And I think many of you, when you were in high school, you probably practiced or played basketball in this gym. So it's about 80 years old, and right now it's in bad condition. So the board already approved the demolition, and we should have this ready around February. And the plan is, with the bond election, to build a new cafeteria at that site. And again, the funding was the bond election, and it hasn't been used in many, many years, so it's just an eyesore. So it needs to go down. On page 3, I'm happy to report that with our bond election, we're building a new ag farm, and the completion should be in a year, January 2027. The city is very much interested in buying this property, and what they want to do, they want to go ahead and add a fire and police substation. I met with the city last week, and we're all very excited, and we're ready to go. And again, this fire police station will be a big benefit to Weslaco ISD and to the community. We're not sure yet on what it's appraised for, but it's 7.6 acres. So I will get back to the board as we finalize, and we're able to sell this to the city. And again, it's a very, very good purpose for it. On page 4, it is a concern to me, our self-funded health insurance, and I mentioned this to the board. As you can see, compared to last year, the claims RX and the total on the claims, we are at a minus almost 1.5 million, and on the RX, almost $500,000. The total is almost $2 million. So this is just for 3 months. On the average, we spend about $2 million per month. So on the bottom, you can see the funding, the 22 million. Last year, we added 1.3 to the budget. And again, the balance as of right now is about 15.6 million. But again, we're spending about 2 million per month. On A, last year, the insurance budget had a deficit of 1.2 that we had to pay from fund balance. On B, the projected for this school year is a deficit of 4 million that will pay from fund balance. So this is alarming to me because now it's almost over $5 million that we paid from fund balance. And then for next year, if we continue the trend, is also going to be, if we don't have enough budgeted, also money from fund balance for this project. I just want to say that myself and the board this year and past years, we provided a very good health insurance plan, but we'll have to study this in the spring to see, we want to make some adjustments because we cannot continue having a deficit and having to pay this from fund balance. So again, we will continue. I know that Mr. Ben Castillo mentioned on the RX possibility, so we're studying everything to see if we can lower the cost. And my last slide is on the self-funded workers' compensation plan. This one, again, we're self-funded. Compared to last year, we have less claims, and then these less claims are less severe, so we've not spent too much on it. There is, every year, we fund approximately $500,000, and right now, on B, we do have the long-term claims, people that have gotten hurt before, so we're still paying. So right now, the current balance is 177, and again, Dr. Cantu has done a lot of safety training so that our staff doesn't get hurt. So we'll be studying whether the fully funded is more costly than self-funded. And this plan is from September the 1 to August the 31st. We're also looking at rebates. Board members, this is my presentation. Again, a short one. Do you have any questions on any of these slides?
Questions on the left side? Mrs. Stecker?
Okay, yes, thank you. I wrote two things down just out of curiosity for the insurance. And also, if you can go back to the first slide about the cost of the insurance, that one right here. So my question is, looking at 24-25 compared to 25-26, you know, we have more claims this year monetary. I see it here, it's 3.9 million compared to 2.4. My question is this because the number of claims went up, or is this because the cost of the health insurance went up? What is it?
I think it's a combination.
It's a combination of
You wanna
both?
address this?
Yes, a combination of both. We do have something unprecedented happening. Never seen this many claims this soon in the year. So it's something that's alarming, and I brought that to the administration as soon as I started seeing that pattern.
Okay, so this is until the end of August 31. We still have November and December that isn't even being reported here, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so
That
it's
goes
probably
through November.
higher right now than what we're seeing, for sure.
It's definitely higher. We do have claims that are coming in on a weekly basis, but tracking on a monthly and looking at the 3-month average times 12, we're looking at about a $4 million shortage if that trend of claims that are coming in continues.
Okay. I'm thinking of what kind of solution other than, you know, just, we have our health clinic here that we offer the employees. We have, I don't know what other things do we have, like wellness programs, nutrition. What do we offer our employees to help with this?
Right, we have a wellness labs that will be coming up so that we can get ahead of that. We had a ladies' day out where we had mammographies, breast cancer screenings, so we can get ahead of, you know, anything that might be, you know, present. There's a few other things that we're planning with the Employee Benefit Committee.
Okay.
But it's definitely something that is concerning because I've never seen so many claims coming in, you know, so soon.
Yeah. And I do appreciate, I know Miss Erica Garcia, she works a lot with the parents and the staff and the insurance. You guys have programs that, you know, help with the knowledge of what to do or how to be healthier and stuff. So I appreciate that you guys are working on that also. My second question with the workers' comp, the safety. And I don't know if you guys can put that slide up again.
Yes.
Right here. Okay, so we went up not that much, but kind of a little bit with the number of claims from last year to this year as of November.
The numbers are upside down.
Are they?
We
Let's
have
see,
we have
20
less.
Oh, we have less. I'm sorry. Okay, yes, we
Yes.
have less. Okay, that's good. I was seeing it backwards. The question still, though, is for those 31 that we have this year. Dr. Rivera said that you were working on safety trainings and all those things. from what departments do we usually see more of? Because we have a business and we do workers' comp also, and we're always about safety is number one, safety is number one. But where do you see that these safety things are happening the most?
Mostly food service, maintenance, custodial, so skilled labor.
Okay, the skilled labor. And we are offering them trainings on what to do to be safe.
On a yearly basis, yes, ma'am.
Okay, those were my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Jaime?
Dr. Rivera, on the ADA, I know the enrollment is down, but the ADA, we're still above that budgeted?
Yes, we're near the 95, the percentage.
Okay. And that's,
And again, I want to commend the principals. They're the ones that work very hard to get the ADA at that amount.
good. And so, no, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's good that we're hitting that percentage, even though our enrollment is less, that we're able to hit that number. So I'm glad to see that they're working really hard with that, and congrats on all that hard work. Good job. That was my only question.
No, just, like on this ADA thing, and we've talked about it before, Everybody do their part and continue to encourage attendance, and with holidays coming up, everybody gets excited, and that's understandable, but we need to not lose focus of what we're supposed to be here for, and just ask you to continue doing what you're doing, and we're very thankful for your efforts, because it's going to make a big difference here towards the end of the year. So keep doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Rad. Mr. Castillo?
Yes, sir. I have a couple. On the first page with respect to, our enrollment and whatnot, I know that a couple of school districts are looking into creating virtual schools to try to, take advantage of that statute that allows for school districts to do that, to recoup some of those students that maybe would be more interested in a virtual school, or more so the parents and the students. I'd like to see if we could look into that to see what options that we may have, kind of thinking outside the box and be a little bit innovative.
And we are, I'm sorry, and we are.
Yes, sir. I actually saw some
Yes.
correspondence, I
Yes.
believe it was
Yes.
from here, that you
Yes.
guys were looking into it.
Yes.
And, but yeah, I think now more than ever, we gotta get a little bit aggressive on that. And on top of that, some schools are even asking me how to figure out how to create a private school to take advantage of the voucher system. I haven't figured that one in yet, but, that could be another possibility. But yes, I want to challenge you, Doc, just to
Yes.
think outside the box on these things. Things are changing, times are
Yes.
changing, and we got to adapt with our community as well. As far as the insurance, Doctor, same thing. As far as our insurance program, I think last summer, I sat through a bunch of presentations at different school districts where they were attempting to save money but still provide the same amount of coverage that the employees are used to. And so one, on the pharmacy, again, kind of looking out through the international route. And then on the actual insurance plan, there's one district that's here that's bigger than us, self-funded as well. They tinkered a little bit with their plan and created an HMO option and kept that one really relatively inexpensive. And then the PPO, which was the first option that they had always provided, they made that kind of the second option and increased the price a little bit. So employees still had the opportunity to save money if they wanted to with the same amount of coverage, just an HMO versus a PPO. And so I thought that was a really smart idea when I heard it, and that might be something that we look into. Maybe there's some savings there as well.
Will do.
I know in that district there were savings, and the employees were happy with it. They were okay with it. And so again, just kind of a challenge to you and your administration to, these are the times where we have to be innovative and think outside the box and to still provide the same amount of service, but with less amount of money.
On target.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's all I got, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Coach Serna?
Yeah, gonna follow up on the swimming pool, the at Wesco High. Are we moving along with that, or?
The demolition?
Actually,
Yes.
we are.
Yes.
Yes, are those, and.
I think it's fairly soon already, right? Don't we have someone already?
Mr.
Thought
Garza?
it was coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Rivera. Yes, we're working with the engineer right now to get that design going for the demolition of that area there. That's where we're at right now.
But that's where we're at a couple of months ago, no? Have we made progress on that, or?
So,
Because I know, I mean, the season starting, tennis courts are moving.
yeah, the delays come in with a review of the scope because it has to be adjusted. Originally, we had additional work for the engineer. And so we get their information, updated proposals. Then we have to follow up with legal to make sure that they revise the contract. So that's part of the delay in the process right now. It's all administrative.
But it's still coming along.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Coach Rodriguez, the canopy for the softball, is that going to be ready for the season? Because that's about a month away.
So for the canopy for the softball, yes, coach. The scoreboards and the canopy should be ongoing for the season.
Okay. Because they're about a month away, right? Softball
month,
starts
yes.
about 2 weeks into January.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And what is the plan moving forward, or is there a plan for Weslaco East softball to get something covered?
Not right now, but
But-
we'll look into it. Yeah. So-
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's important all the way around, and I know it takes a little money, but it would just be right to have both, and maybe the baseball's right also, because
No,
those
we'll
covered
look into it.
areas, especially with the sun the way it is here in South Texas, I think it's important, and it's for our kids. you
Yeah,
know.
no, we'll look into it.
Please do. Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question,
Oh.
Coach.
Go ahead.
On that, Jim, I noticed on that picture where you had lockers in there. Are those lockers being salvaged, or are they I mean, because inclement weather's gonna get in there.
So these are lockers that were removed from East High School, and I believe also Weslaco High School when we did the remodeling of the athletic buildings. And so, again, if anybody,
Yeah, I mean,
wants to
do the
use them, they're
coaches know?
available.
Because I know when I was there, those were gold. And if I had some of those and they looked like they're in pretty good shape, I would quickly take, instead of spending money, I'd like to use them. So, I don't know, just let the coaches know there's some available and they look like they're in good shape.
So we use them, coach. We use them. I know on the girls' side and what's at the lacking. We've used some of these lockers
But
already.
if it's open like that, if it rains and they're gonna get wet, they're gonna get rusty
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
I'm just saying, let the coaches know that they're available. They
No, we
look
will.
good.
We will. Like I said, we used some already. We moved some out of them, put them in
Maybe
the.
they'll hit you up now that
No,
they
they
saw
won't.
them there.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Está bueno. Thank you, Coach.
These are over a year old, Coach, on the pictures initially when we were getting started on this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the time frame, but they look good. I hope somebody's using them because that's money saved right there. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Coach Sena. Mr. Los Santos?
Yes, I just had two, enrollment. Can we go back to that slide? Yes, I just wanted to ask, I just wanted to clarify because, like I said, we've had historically, we've been between 1,300 and 1,500. If you go back and look at the years, the different calendar years, for whatever reason, Weslaco ISD always falls within that range. Whatever the enrollment is, they're like 1,300 to 1,500 short. So kudos to everybody that's bringing everyone in because enrollment, just for the public, is the number of kids that you have at the school system. 14,500 is what we base our budget off of. So right now, they're slightly above that. And I know that the principals at the campuses are doing activities and all these different things just to keep school engaging outside of the classroom as well. So kudos to you all your great work. So that's really good because we're on track. And the other one is the insurance. I had a question for Dr. Cantu, the other slide. Just asking, does that include rebates already, those figures? Or how does our
Yes, sir.
current insurance-
Remember that when we went with Blue Cross and Prime as a bundle, we
Okay.
were receiving those guaranteed rebates as credits on administrative costs.
Okay.
So you'll notice that we don't have the column that says administrative costs anymore.
Right.
So now it's just claims and RX.
Just
So-
straight, yeah.
Yes, and on top of that, we do get that $36 or $37 per employee per month that would have been administrative costs. We also get what we call a true-up. So in February of last year, we received $800,000 as a true-up because it was a certain level of guaranteed
Every
plus
spring.
those 800 that
Right.
also came in. So I'm hoping for a true-up in February,
So-
like we got last
So
year.
I guess just to reformat my question, restructure it, there's still more money's coming in that's going to apply toward the negative later.
Yes, sir. I'm hoping that we have enough of a true-up, like they say.
Right. To minimize the blow. Right. Whatever overages.
Last year, it was about $800,000.
Right. Okay. That's all.
800, but we still went to the red.
Right.
Yes,
Even though we
million.
got the money.
It was $1 million
It was still
something, right, last
1.2
year?
million, yeah.
1 point something?
Even
Fiscal-
with, even with the rebate.
Yes, fiscal, I
Yeah.
think it was 1.2.
1.2, I think. That's what I have on the
Right.
slide.
And what
On
did you,
fiscal.
what did you predict when you present, because you asked us to renew the contract, what did you predict? I can't remember what you said that it was, and I don't know if you remember. When the agenda topic came up, when we renewed it, didn't we? We automatically renewed it because it was up for renewal?
Right.
But you said to expect a slightly increase in overages. Do you remember that figure or no?
Not off the top of my head,
It's on
but I can
YouTube.
get
I'll
it
go
to you
back
in
and-
an
yeah,
update if
no,
I
no,
do
don't
some
worry.
research on that.
All right, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Rivera, for that extensive information. Yeah, Coach Cerna,
Yeah,
one more?
Coach Rodriguez, good job on the academic All-State. It was good to see multi-sport, way to get the word out. Good job.
Thank you. Any other comments, final comments? All right.
And all these kids are recognized on our Jumbotron and,
Yes, I saw
and
that.
also on our marquee, yes.
All right, let's continue on to number 8, Lone Star Governance. 8A1, discussion on the Lone Star Governance Board monitoring calendar for December 2025.
Ms. Solano?
Yes, hi, good evening, members of the board and community. So the presentation was actually marked for November, however, we moved it to December. So tonight we will be presenting on our CCMR TSI results and our panorama survey results for the fall. So the GPM that we're presenting on is 5.1, which is to increase the percentage of students meeting the TSI benchmark from a 46 to a 48% for this school year. So with TSI, we're always presenting a cohort behind, just because that cohort, the cohort of 2024 basically is the cohort that is going to come out in your 2025 ratings. However, we have projected already our 25, 26, right, based on the data that we have received from the state. So currently our 25, 26, and again, this is just a projection based on the monitoring that we conduct here at our high schools with the help of all the departments and our CCMR specialists to include our high school principals. So is at a 62%. And again, this overall percentage includes the students who passed the actual TSI reading, RLA, and math tests, to include those who take the college prep or Texas College Bridge courses, right? So what is working for us with the help and the input of all these individuals? Campuses offer tutorial opportunities like after school, IXL, boot camps for all students to attend. There's 2 hours of remediation is required for any students who is retesting to ensure that they increase their opportunities to pass. And implementation of the new initiatives such as the CCMR senior off periods, right? So no, it's no off period senior year if student is not TSI complete, right? To ensure that before they leave the high schools, they are post-secondary ready. What needs more attention? So we're integrating TSI A2 objectives into the curriculum maps for 6th through 12th grade. We believe that if all, especially our RLA and our math courses, embed these readiness standards, right? It's not something separate and apart, but they're already prepared to take the exam. Increase stakeholder awareness of what TSI does, how it helps, and how it helps prepare that student for college readiness. Increase community awareness as well, right, to get that additional support, right? So that is our GPM. We'll move on to our CPM, which is dealing with the panorama survey. So our CPM 3.1 touch bases on the students who respond favorably to emotional regulation on the student panorama survey. So it'll be at 46% by spring of 2026. So you have the bar graphs there for the fall of 2025. The panorama survey, if you've logged into the panorama Google site, it showed that for our 3rd through 5th graders, they scored on this topic at an 82% respond favorably when dealing with their emotions, controlling their emotions. And for our 6th to 12th graders, they respond at 80% favorably, right? Giving us a district score of an 81%. What is working? So the data that Panorama is giving us is obviously being analyzed and strategized by administration, teachers. They're looking at the results, seeing what works, what resources are available for them to receive these favorable responses, to include working with the playbook that Panorama gives us, to include any additional training that counselors go through. Also, ongoing training for counselors, social workers, and LPCs focus on trauma-informed practices, de-escalation techniques, and emotion regulation strategies. So I know the LPCs and all of our counselors have worked tirelessly on this topic and making sure that everyone is ready to respond to dealing with their emotions, right? And of course, ongoing staff training through youth mental health first aid awareness that is also required by the state. What needs more attention? So one of the things that we looked at is monitoring of the tiered service plan of action. This is basically just like we have for academics, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, we also have for health services as well, right? Provide staff with additional responsive services training. It's never enough, right? The more training we have, the more prepared we are to respond to a crisis. Strengthen our secondary student support by providing additional tier 2 services, which are more small group interventions on stress management, conflict resolution, coping skills, and self-regulation, right, with these focus groups. And I think one of the things that we saw the most impact this year, it was increase the collection of the Senate Bill 12 parental consent forms, right? This is now the new state, right, legislation that passed the Senate bill, where parents now have the right to either consent or decline any health-related services when dealing with their child's health service. So, however, we are still on track for 3.1. So the next slide shows, I included these are the questions that students get asked in grade levels 3 through 5 or 6 through 12, and that is that percent of students responding to it favorably, right? So an example of one of the questions is, how often are you able to control your emotions when you need to, right? One from the secondary says, when you get upset, how often can you get yourself to relax? So this is just examples of questions they are asked in the Panorama survey. So the next one, CPM 3.2, is also dealing with the Panorama survey, but this is the teacher and staff survey who respond favorably to school climate on the teachers and staff survey. It will increase to 58% by spring 2026. So the goal, again, is 58%. For teachers alone, it was scored at a 64% favorably, and for staff at a 69, giving us an average as a district of a 67%. What is working? Regularly acknowledging and celebrating staff contributions through shout-outs, awards, newsletters, and staff spotlights. We saw a lot of that in the responses, right? Effective use of social media platforms such as Facebook, creating opportunities for teachers to work together, share expertise, have a voice in decision-making, and organize team-building activities, social events, and appreciation luncheons. What needs more attention? Clearly setting and communicating the campus vision, right? Staying focused on what the vision of the campus or department are, creating a space where teachers feel comfortable communicating their needs and frustrations to administrators and colleagues, increase a sense of belonging, as belonging is one of the components under school climate and community among teachers. Strong relationships are the foundations of a positive climate, and continue to prioritize the staff well-being at all times. Right, so based on the data shows that we are on track to meeting the end of the year goal, even though it has been surpassed, but maintaining is key, right? So the next slide is, or are examples of questions that are asked in the teacher questionnaire. You have one, how positive are the attitudes of your colleagues? And in the staff questions, you see one, to what extent are staff trusted to work in the way they think it's best, right? So these are just types of questions and their responses at that percentage that they received in the survey. And we're happy to announce that for the staff and teacher survey, almost all, we had a very high percentage of staff and teachers that responded. It was minimal, right, from all the staff that is here with us in WISD. So the next section of the report is just a brief district accountability update to tie back to the efforts and the work that has been done these first 6 weeks in the year. As we are gathering data, this third 6 weeks was critical for us in gathering data for benchmarks. We are still not done with benchmarks. We're still assessing this last week, so very important to have good attendance this last week at your campus. So campus demographics, this is just the makeup of what the student population is at every campus, from your EBs to your SPED to your at-risk, GT migrants, and your ECODIS. So based on this, campuses are compared with other 40 campuses, right, or 40 campuses within their groups at the state accountability rating. So one campus that has the same makeup as others in the state is then compared to those, right? So you see the difference in the makeup of each of the campuses. So with that being said, you know, just a reminder on the next slide, our accountability. When we are looking at the leadership summer activities with our leaders, when we're looking at anything that has to do with the next year's accountability rating, we always go back to how was last year as one of the domains. Growth is going to compare them against last year's performance, right? So again, this is how we ended last year at an 85 as a district, a B. Again, those campuses that are highlighted in yellow are the ones who have a rating of a D. However, I do want to remind you that even though they have a rating of a D, especially the three on the top, they did not earn a D as an overall campus rating. They actually earned a C. However, they can claim that C. So that's why they are a D. So those are the campuses that we're focusing a lot of support and interventions to accelerate that rating. However, in the next slide, you will see some of the work that we have done with our administration and administration with teachers, right? And teachers with students has been projecting where we want to be as a district, where we want to end up as a district, right? So on our way to an A. So a lot of work during the first summer to the first 6 weeks has been done in dissecting each domain and how each domain from performance, student achievement to growth, simply just growing from one year to the next, right? As a student, what rating or percentage do I have to be to make my final rating at the end? So once we put all campuses together and everyone during our principal trainings or principal meetings, once we put all the ratings together, everyone shared out why, what are their strategies. Once we put everything together, if everyone sets their goal, right, and meets that goal, then we would be rated at 91 an A. So very doable, right? Again, this is principals, right, created these goals along with their teachers and teachers with students, right? So just wanted to share that with you. And Mr. Nieto, if I may, can I move on to the questions that were asked?
Yes, definitely.
So some of the questions that we received, right, regarding the presentation. The first question is, what resources or instruction do our special education students and our bilingual students need so they can improve on their benchmarks to prepare then for testing later in the year? So from our special education department, there they have a district website, right, our landing page, where they will find a lot of resources to practice with accommodations, right, and supports that they need for testing in order to be successful. So anything that the teacher has in the classroom can also be reinforced through these programs that they have there online, right? For our bilingual students, we have also Summit K-12 and Elevation Strategies that teachers have been trained on and provided additional support from our bilingual department. So extra programs that are aligned to the overall state assessment and can help them prepare and mock a real state assessment as well. So that's one of the questions. Question 2, what is the expectation for each subject area as to what % is the goal for the mastery level by students? So the master's level, really simple, the state's goal is a 30%. The 90-60-30 is 30% of your students in order for a campus or a district to be rated an A. Are at the master's level, right? That highest level of performance. So one of the things that we did in the next slide, Mr. Nieto, to answer that question is when campus principals at the beginning of the year and in summer, we talked about setting goals for the year. So we track on the cohort of students that you're receiving, we track how did you receive them, how did they do, because it's important to note that in order to monitor domain 2A growth. But then we set goals for benchmark 1, benchmark 2, and benchmark and STAR, right? The final assessment of the year to ensure that there's growth, but also that we are increasing the percentage at each of the performance levels, which includes the master's level. So our goal is that at the master's level, we are getting near or hitting the target of 30%, right? So this is a scoreboard from one of our campuses that the principals discuss with their teachers and teachers with their students. The next question, what are the areas, are the majority of students still having difficulty in the most recent benchmarks? Because we have not closed out all benchmarks right? We have very preliminary raw data, and we will be presenting in January more of that. Right now, based on observations, walkthroughs, feedback, and some of the data that has come in, for RLA, we have our written responses, text evidence, analysis of text structure at the different levels, and some of the interventions are there, right? Some of the PD has focused on that intervention to ensure that those are being used to increase, right? These are our weakest SEs at those levels to increase the success rate at these SEs. For math, problem solving at the elementary level and multi-step application problems at the middle and high school level. So a lot of our Region 1 support and our coordinator support, CNI support have revolved around these SEs to ensure that students are internalizing the problems, the concept, and are reading, drawing, and writing it so that we can make sure that they are understanding it. For science, analyzing and interpreting the data at all levels. So a lot of providing questions and virtual opportunities, labs, with these resources that they have available to them. Again, this data is not final just yet, just because we're still assessing this week, and they're finishing all those students who are making up assessments. Right? Question number 4 from Mr. Nieto: what assistance, professional development, or resources are we providing to the 3 schools that require that additional assistance this year, which are Silva, Airport, and Mary Hope, the ones that were in yellow, right? So we've provided additional targeted campus visits by CNI staff, and these are targeted to just these campuses to meet with the administrators or their instructional teams to ensure that they are on target on meeting those STAR scoreboards that you saw. Instructional mentors were assigned to them as well, and the instructional mentor works more at that administrator teacher level support for walkthroughs to improve instruction. An extra STAR mentor, which we know is critical for their STAR ratings. They also, 2 of the campuses also have gone a new curriculum capturing kids' hearts. That's Silva and Mary Hope, and have received additional training throughout the year. And we are also doing a principal leadership network aside from our principal academies or meetings with them on like separately, right? So Dr. Rodriguez, your question 1, which grades or campuses show the largest gap between TSI testing and the exemptions, which we talked about, college prep and Summerbridge, right? And what instruction changes are being made to close the gap? So one of the things that we saw as a district, right, and you see that report card there, was that 55%, right, 55% of the students, if you look at that first 55.1, are meeting the TSI score or indicator by passing the actual test. But we still have 26% that depend on the college prep courses, right, to meet that indicator. So one of the things that we notice is that between both high schools, Weslaco High, both of them, when you look at TSI, have the actual almost the same TSI passing rate. However, Weslaco High looks at maximizing the on-ramps or college prep courses a lot more than Weslaco East, but then Weslaco East maximizes their opportunities through IBCs and other ways for the CCMR indicators. So that is what we notice with the data. However, some of the strategies, right, that our CCMR specialists, our effective advising framework group, and our principals are working on is making sure that students pass their TSI since early grades, right? Starting like that summer year going into freshman, that they are not taking care of this their last year of senior year, right, of high school. So making sure that that's in place. The Summerbridge program, this will be incorporated the AccuPlacer instructional lessons to practice and address gaps, strengthen TSI again through the classrooms, not that it's something separate and aside, and use other programs like Edspire from Region 1 that will monitor and help us monitor this more effectively, right? And of course, we continue to have our steering committee meetings on a monthly basis. The last question is regarding Panorama Survey. What one strategy, right, will most accelerate the improvement in student emotional regulation, and how will we know that it's working within the year? Again, using and understanding our 3 tiers right? Using counselors as a lesson as a whole, as a grade level, addressing a student's need through small group interventions or focus groups or individualized counseling, right? Addressing it properly and monitoring it closely as well. Those are all the questions, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Solano. Any other questions that, I know all of you are busy, and sometimes it's difficult to provide questions, but sometimes you do provide them here. So I'll start with Mrs. Staita. Any?
Yes, I actually want to say I was kind of confused because apparently I overlooked an email before Thanksgiving when this was sent out. And I had called you last month with my questions over the phone. So I just figured, well, those are the questions. I didn't know that I had to resubmit them again. So I did have my questions. I had two that I worked on actually with our coach, with Dr. Ramos for the LSG. But those were already kind of answered with the questions that Mr. Nieto and Dr. Rodriguez asked, just asking about the gaps between the campuses and what we can identify. That was one of my questions. And the other one was about the panorama survey of what patterns we see in the groups that are struggling the most, which you guys talked about already. So that's what I was going to ask. And I was looking for the information saying, where is the line graph? I don't see it in our board book. But then I was asking our secretary, Yvette, she said, I emailed it to you guys before November. I didn't see it. So maybe next time, I don't know, because sometimes there's so many emails and they kind of get stuck in between others, and I thought I had seen it, but it was the Excel sheet for the questions. So maybe we can just, I don't know, work on how to get the information better to us, like maybe upload it earlier on board book, because if it's in board book, we can all see it there whenever it's ready.
I'll let Ms. Contreras know.
I do appreciate all the information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'll remind you all, I'll send you a text message so that we can, you can
That'll be good.
provide at least one question.
Especially before the holidays when it's all crazy. So yeah, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Definitely. Coach Cuellar, any particular question?
I took the easy way out, because when I asked Ms. how many questions do you have? I said, okay, I think we'll be okay, and we can piggyback off of that. But are we done with the benchmark testing yet, or are we still testing?
We're still testing.
Okay, so as soon as we're done, how soon will we know what the results are so that we can address these things that are being discussed right now?
That's actually the January presentation for LST, benchmark results.
Good. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Castillo? Any?
Yes, just a couple, and thank you, sir, and thank you to Dr. Rodriguez for doing your homework. I appreciate it. On the panorama survey, do we have that data broken down by campus?
Yes, we do, Mr. Castillo.
I think it would be interesting for the board just to see, because you showed us the averages for the district, but you might have one campus A at 90%, campus B at very low. I think it would be a good kind of good information for the board.
Mr. Castillo, are you not able to log in on the panorama survey?
I don't have.
Maybe we can get him. I know I have login information where you can read everything, so maybe we can get the board members the logins for the panorama survey.
Got it.
Well, that'd be good. And then as far as still on the panorama survey, and I'm going to frame it as an LSG question, what strategies are we using to help our principals maybe address some of the areas that on the staff portion of it, to where maybe the answers are a little bit low?
Right. So they did have training, I want to say early December, as the panorama survey results were very preliminary right before Thanksgiving, Mr. Castillo, and I know that they shared a playbook with strategies for each of the topics or areas, right, in the panorama survey results. In addition to that, principals, I know during work days, PDs, or any other type of day that we have, they are required to add an additional activity that impacts this CPN, right, positively. So they'll be actually incorporating this Friday as strategy for to incorporate school culture and climate positively.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that answer. And then on the TSI, my only question is, and I'm going back on experience when I was a student, I kind of just got wrangled in to take a test. I didn't know what it was for. I just want to, and it was a TSI.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that the importance is being kind of expressed to the students of what the test is and how it could have an effect on their academics.
Most definitely, and our CCMR specialists do a wonderful job along with our counselors at the high schools of making sure they understand the reason, the purpose, and just publicizing it, right, and raising awareness. That has been a huge goal of ours.
And you could see because the data's been going up.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Those are my questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Coach Serna?
Yeah, my question, and again, Mr., when I saw your question, I loved it because it's special ed.
Right. Well, that's why I put the question in there, because I knew you were going to be.
No, I'm just curious about, I know you mentioned the computer programming that the kids can take home. And I guess maybe this is more for Mr. Garza. Are we making sure that parents know how to log on and utilize those programs that our kids are taking home? Are we training parents as well? Because if it's like me, it'll take me a while and it is frustrating. Are the parents getting trained?
Yeah, a lot of those programs are actually in-school programs.
Right, but do the parents, do we have a meeting with parents? Do we follow up with parents? Is there something we can do to get them educated?
We could, but again, we're putting those programs in school. That's what they're using in school.
But Ms. Solano said that they're using that at home as well. And that's what I'm concerned about. If I can't get into the computer, then how are kids gonna get in? I'm just saying, if we're not training the kid or the parents to log on and show them how to do it, facilitate it for them so they can get home, and I'm sure the kids will want to use it, but I'm just saying, are we training at home as well?
Well, we could certainly do a better job of work with parent specialists at each school and
Well,
how we can facilitate.
Maybe again, monitor that and see if it can get done. I'm just saying, it'll help the parents, because I know I would get frustrated if I can't log on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we will work on that.
Thank you, Coach Serna. Mr. Los Santos?
Yes. My question will be as far as in reference to TSI.
Yes, sir.
So TSI, IBC, those two combined lead out to outcome bonuses, right, for
Yes.
CCMR?
Yes.
And I'd like that presentation, and what that is if you can, I don't know, I'm not an expert in it, but I know I've been informed about it. So when that's extra money that you'll receive, and then
Correct.
the district can tap into that as well
Correct.
too, because there's a split, right?
Yes.
Like 45, 55 or
Right.
something like
Right.
that.
Mhm.
So there's millions out there. All right, so I'd like to know a presentation on where we're ranked with every other district, because I know that those results, they're like every 2 years, right? Are you working on 2 years of data?
It runs 2 years behind
Right,
because of
yeah,
the finances.
that's a window.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, so, yeah, we
Yeah,
need to look at that.
we have that. We can provide
Okay,
that.
to see where we rank with other districts.
Yes.
I'm only asking because I've heard people throw it at me and say, hey, that they're outranking us, Weslaco ISD, as far as income and monies that are coming in funding.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know exactly where to find that, but yeah, I'd like to know more about that. I think so would all the other trustees as well.
Okay. We can provide a board update just so that you can have preliminary, right?
Sure.
So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Solano, the question that I asked on mastery, I've always, I thought 20% was high, but you said 30%.
It's the
So
state.
that's I guess it's a reachable goal from the principals at each campus, correct?
Yes, sir. The 30% is the state goal.
Okay, so principals, 30% mastery level at each subject level, not only at reading and math, so forth. So it can be done. All right.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mrs. Solano, for the presentation. Let's continue. 8A3, discussion of possible action for the Board of Trustees to consider approval of the Lone Star Governance Board Monitoring Report for November 2025, correct? Ms. Solano, November?
Yes. Well, it's the December, but it was the November items, yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve, sir?
We have motion by Mr. Castillo.
Second.
Second by Dr. Jaime to approve the Lone Star Governance Board Manager Report for December. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All against, motion passes. Next, we go to number 9, consent items. You can look through it. I know most of you already looked through it on your board book. I'll give you a minute just to kind of look through them. And then I'll ask for a motion if everybody's in agreement with the the consent agenda items.
Sir, I just have a quick question on one of them. I don't want to pull it, I just want to get clarification on one.
Okay, which one?
9G4D.
9G,
And if we can do C also, because I was going to pull those out for questions also.
C and D?
C and D.
Okay, so
They're worded the
the
same.
first one, approval of Hidalgo County Tax Office Collection Report for October 2025.
No,
The architecture. and
Approval of
engineering.
engineering services?
That is 9G4C.
Oh,
C and D.
9G4C, oh, the last two.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just have a quick question, sir. I just want to, I looked at the board book and the agenda items, and I think it's just for our pool, right? But I want to just make sure that whatever action we're taking tonight doesn't lock us into a construction method on HVAC, say in the future, because we've had a lot of discussion about whether or not to go design build or not, and I just want to make sure that this is just for our pool for projects and not specific to a certain project.
Dr. Rivera?
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to
And
confirm.
Mrs. Susaita, you said 9G4C?
Yes, I'm reading both of them. The way it's worded, because the recommendation is on our PDF here, it says, where is it? It's select one or more of the architectural firms. The same thing with the engineering services. We're supposed to select one or more as a board. And there's a whole list of all the people that met the criteria. So are we selecting one or are we selecting all? What are we
Dr.
doing?
Mr. Marco, the list they have is just the list. When the projects come up, the board will select who they want.
I read it as we're qualifying all.
Yes.
That's how I feel. Are we qualifying
I believe
all of them?
we're qualifying all, but when they
Yes,
bring it to
yes.
us, then we'll select the top two or top three.
Yes, from the
pool.
Yeah,
America?
so it's at the board's discretion whether you want to approve them all or you want to shortlist them and approve only a few. And then after that, you can assign projects for the firms that you
So do we have to pull these out as an action item?
Well, what's the admin's recommendation? Just pull them all?
Well, because the thing is, I guess the question is construction, right? Are we locking ourselves
Yes.
into construction in the future? There's been discussion between the traditional method and then, of course, the design build method, right? The traditional's kind of
Correct.
not worked. And so that, I guess that's what we're asking, if by approving this, are we locking ourselves into that? Or are we still open to decide to change to different methods later?
So no, as far as the method of construction, you're still open to approve another method of construction. This is just for the selection of the service professionals.
The vendor, whoever the vendor will be.
Yeah.
So that's my question. All of them or just one?
I thought all of them.
I thought all of them too.
Marco, the list you have here is to approve all of them, right? And then the board on the projects, then the board selects who they want.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So
So
we're
it's just they're all here to approve.
going to select all of them at this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But then when the project comes up, then we're going to
Okay.
decide
Yeah.
the top two or top
Yeah.
three. or
Okay.
whatever.
And then also the method of construction, you know, what you want design build or traditional.
Correct.
They can still decide what they want.
Yeah, that's separate and apart from
Yes.
this.
Okay.
The method of construction is separate.
So my question for legal, because it's worded as in the board shall select one or more, do we have to take action on this to say all of them or what do we have to do for this one?
Take action on all of them.
Well, that's why I asked the superintendent what's his recommendation, and he said all of them.
All of
So
them.
that-
Okay, so that covers it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, do you have a motion?
Maybe the agenda was not worded kind of correctly,
Okay.
but it is all of them, medical, right?
Yes.
You approve
Yes.
all the architects, all the engineers, and then when the project comes up, then the board selects. They might get two or three to interview for that particular job.
So in continuing with with what the board did in the past,
In the
that's
past.
exactly
So
what
it's
what
just
we're
a
doing.
pool, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
just approve.
Okay, got it.
All right, do you have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion by Dr. Jaime. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Ben Castillo to approve all consent agenda items.
I have one more question, sir.
Go ahead.
On,
Well, I
after.
still have to pull some
after-
items. I still have to pull some items.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, I wasn't gonna pull. Mine was just a question. So can I do that?
Yes.
On number 9G3A, approval of overtime reports for the month ended November 30.
Okay.
If we open up that report and we look at the overtime that was paid to the different departments, I see that the department that has the most overtime, and understandably, because they're taking our kids everywhere, is a transportation department. Now, there have been issues with, you know, who overtime and who's working and who's not. It's been an issue for years with transportation. Can we get a report, sir? I know, like, what I use at my work, I just click on a button, my accounting system gives me the report, just print it out. I don't have to manually do a report. is there a report that we can get just to see, you know, how much overtime broken down is going into this? Can we get something
Mr.
like that?
Abel, I think what they do, you have a list, right, of all the bus drivers, and then you go 1, 2, 3 down the order, and then you start again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rivera. Good afternoon,
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Stike, members of the board. So we've gone through this system where it became a system where they have it televised, they have it everywhere. They're in the department where they go through a rotation.
Okay.
They have a rotation in place. We've even given them another opportunity to vote if they wanted to do something different. They came back and the majority wanted them to stay the same way as far as how the rotation works when it falls in there. So everyone gets to see who's next in line and how it works. It's very transparent.
Okay.
On their
so there's
system.
a system already
Yeah,
in
there's a
place?
system.
There is a system.
And it's a fair system.
And it's a fair system. We've gone through it, met with them multiple times. We've said, take it back to the group, have them go through it
Let's do an
again.
update.
Pardon?
Let's do an update.
We can
Let the
provide an
board know
update as
the-
well.
the
Yes,
plan
because that's
procedure
a
we do.
sticky
Yes,
issue
yeah, it
everywhere.
is.
The whole
Yeah.
transportation thing and who's getting what, so I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right.
We'll provide an update.
We'll do an update.
Okay, so we have a motion, but Mr. Dos Santos wanted to pull a couple.
9G2A.
9G2A?
Yes, I was gonna put 9G4C and D, but we already talked about that.
Okay.
But 9G2A, I do have some questions.
92, okay.
So I have a motion by Dr. Jaime, second by Mr. Ben Castillo to approve the consent agenda, except for 9G2A. And we'll come back to discuss it in a minute, Mr. Dos Santos.
Okay?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. All right, let's go to 9G2A. Approval of the interim financial report for the months ending September 30th, 2025, and October 31, 2025. Mr. Los Santos.
Yes. I had a question, just so everybody understands, the interim financial reports, what that means, those are reports that the board receives every single month, that it gives you revenue that's coming in and it gives you expenditures. And then it also demonstrates the budget as well, as far as what was initially placed there at the beginning of the year. And it's kind of just to us to see as we go along. So my questions is for, I don't know her name.
Ms.
I'm sorry.
Rodriguez?
Deborah Rodriguez.
Deborah Rodriguez.
Yes. Deborah Rodriguez. Let me write that down because I won't just remember that. So, Mr. Rodriguez, you're now acting CFO, correct? Or you're in charge of that department, the budget department? Okay. So, my first question is, to your knowledge right now, has any accounting been done for the 25-26 school year?
For 25, 26?
Yes, for this current school year. Has accounting already been done, and when did it start?
Some of the accounting has been done, but we are behind on it. We are
Okay.
behind on the 25, 26 accounting.
Okay, so it's a yes or no question, I guess, or if you want to elaborate, you can. So the interim financial reports that we've been receiving, are those documents something that you submitted? They don't have your name, but that is not your work,
Correct.
right? Would you say that those are 100% accurate, since you're saying that the accounting isn't complete, the
They
25,
are
26?
not 100% accurate because we're still working on the 25, 26 budget that is in the system.
Okay. Can you give that to her? It's because she wasn't here during our special board meeting. So this relates just later to my other agenda item. That's why. But it involves interim financial reports. You weren't here at the special board meeting we had last week, but that's a document that I shared with all the board trustees, excluding the superintendent as well. Is that your work? That interim financial report is June 30th, 2025. Is that you didn't work and create that document, correct?
No, I did not.
No. By looking at that document, it's a yes or no question. Would you submit that to the school board, the way that those figures are listed in that column, as far as expenses, revenue expenses, and then also deductions? If you need more time to look at the sheet, then we could just move on, but that's not your work, though. You didn't submit that, you didn't work on that, your team and whatnot?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
That one. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve that consent agenda item?
Yes, sir. There's a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Los Santos. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Jaime. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion items, updates on training, conferences, events, and consider future agenda items requests by Board of Trustees. Dr. Rivera.
Yes, you have 3. We have a Christmas social coming up this week on December the 17th At 3? Is it 3, Mr. Buttermore? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock? 3. 3 to 5, and the board's invited. It's a Christmas social here in the boardroom. And then sometime in January, I believe it's on the 7th, we're having the safety and security meeting on that date.
Okay.
And then the third one is Yvette will poll you as to when you want to have the next board workshop on the Lone Star. But it'll be sometime in January.
Correct.
So I have these 3 just to present to you.
Okay.
And then if I could, Mr. Board President, if I could just request a Finance Committee meeting the first week, or when we get back in January.
Yes.
Just to get an update of where we're at, and if there's 3 board members there already, Trustee Los Santos could take my place.
Okay.
I accept.
Okay.
I agree with Mr. Castillo that Mark be a part of that, so that,
Thank you.
I mean, you're on top of it, so I think your place is there.
No, thank you, sir.
If I was gonna be there, you can take mine.
All right. Thank you.
What date was it again? First week?
The first week we get back.
Okay.
Check when you guys are available.
Okay.
Okay. 10B,
Good.
discussion of the sale of the present Pete Abrigo Egg Farm as requested by Mr. Ben Castillo. Dr. Rivera.
Mr. Ben?
Yes, so my understanding is that the city wants to build a fire and substation on the land where our current ag barn is. And so I just wanted to have a discussion on it. I think it's a great project. I think it's a benefit to the district. I know that the city came and spoke to you, Dr. Rivera.
Yes.
And so if you could kind of give us an update on those discussions.
Okay. But I did a superintendent report.
Okay, well, yeah, so.
Any more on that? I can add more to it.
Well, I guess just as far as the price, you're in the process of getting an appraisal and all that kind of good stuff. And so I guess once we get that, we could have a better idea of how much to sell it to them.
Yes.
But I would request that we get.
We can do that?
That we look
I
hard
fully
into.
support this project.
And FYI, we met with the city several weeks ago.
Yes.
I believe, when they came to present at Dr. Rivera's office.
Yes.
And, but Dr. Rivera told them until we get the appraisal, then we can move forward and say, okay, we can sell it at this appraised value.
Did you already start that process, sir?
Yes, we met with them last week.
And the sale date would be contingent on once the new ag farm is complete?
Yes, and the board approves it.
Correct.
No, as far as the appraisal, we already started.
We
that
have,
process?
yes, we have an amount, but I don't want to say now because it's just an estimate.
Okay.
So we'll make them an offer they can't refuse.
There you go. There you go. All right, thank you, sir.
Like in The Godfather.
So this item is just for discussion.
And one question as well, because in the initial talks, right, where I know we're going to all move on, everybody's ready. But the ag farm, the new ag farm, what about the property they had over there that will kind of solidify the ownership, the area that's over there on the corner of for
We're
the
working on
future?
that.
That's also something that's
The city says it
discussed.
belongs to them, and we say it belongs to us, so now
Okay.
Eloy is researching this.
Okay, perfect.
We think it belongs to us.
All right.
Okay.
So they're trying to sell it, but it belongs to us.
Okay.
Okay, so this is only a discussion item?
Yes.
Now, 10C, discussion of the Weslaco ISD counseling program is requested by Mrs. Ustaita and Coach Serna. Mrs. Ustaita.
Okay, I guess I'll start it off from you, Coach Stephen. I can just pick up.
Or-
Would you like to start first? No, go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead, I'll hit off of your point.
Okay. Coach Serna and I, one of our biggest priorities is, of course, the mental health of the students and what's going on in this, especially the elementary and the high schools, and not just the students, but the staff also. So we were requesting discussion on and I requested numbers on counseling, and we did get some numbers in. Maybe I think it was last month, because I did my own little Excel sheet here. Last month we got numbers in, and my concern with the numbers that came in, if I go and I look at the counselors per school, and I look at the enrollment of the school, some schools we have, that most of the schools that we have about one counselor for around 300 kids. That's the ratio. Around 300 kids, you have one counselor. If you have two counselors, most of them are at 600. So it's about 300 kids per counselor right now of what we're seeing in the schools. But we do, and then if I put them from their rating, the TA rating from A, B, C, D, and I did all that, I put them in order, who has the least kids and the most kids, and what are their ratings. And I saw a pattern of that there's 3 schools that we have that are not on the high end of the rating, and they are missing counselors compared to the other schools according to the ratio. And I was gonna share this with you guys last time, but then I think it was like a special meeting we had, so I didn't get to. And I didn't get to share it this time, so only for discussion right now. And I know that we have budgetary constraints with the payroll going on right now and all these things. So that I just wanted to emphasize how important the counselors are in our schools. Not only do they do administrative work also, but they're in charge of talking to the students, and they're very important. And Coach Serna, I think all of us, in our opinion, all of us believe that everyone's important. Everyone is important, but especially right now with everything going on, the counselors play an important role. And I know that we do have programs that we have for free that we've had, like the UT RGV, the T-Chat, and I think we also have I don't know, other like the LPC programs, the Tropical Texas Behavioral Health. We have social workers. I don't know how much time we have left for these grants. I think they expire at the end of this year. Do they? Does anybody know?
Ms. Solano?
Okay, and that's another, go ahead.
I believe some of the MOUs we renew every other year, yes. So
Okay.
our head counselors are ensuring that all those MOUs continue once they're up for renewal.
Okay, so it's important to note that I don't know if the consultants that we do hire, I don't know if they're out talking to all the kids, or they're sitting in an office one-to-one, kind of a therapy session. I don't know, but I feel like the kids need more of that hands-on, like a counselor helping during the day, being there permanently, especially if the ratios are off on some campuses. That was the discussion that I wanted to bring. I know, like I said, we have payroll concerns or budget concerns, so maybe if not this year, maybe next year, at the beginning of next year, but it's very, very important. I know that we're missing a director of counseling also. You know, that hasn't been, that position is still there and no one has filled it. I know that there's people who are temporarily helping out, but I think it makes a difference to have somebody there helping, because this is a big deal. It's like not having an assistant deputy helping Dr. Rivera. You're missing a big piece of an important position there. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
And Coach Serna?
Coach Serna?
Just to go off on that, you know, coaching athletics, I can hold my own, but I attended a conference in San Antonio, and it was the main topic of it was mental health and Hispanic kids. And when I ran for this office, mental health was, you know, very important. But when I went to this conference and I talked to people, and the correlation between good mental health is equals to student success. And I feel like if our numbers are not there and the ratio is not there, then I'm not stepping up to the plate for these kids. And, you know, I know Ms. Sustaita and I have talked about it, and I've also talked to Mr. Castillo and, you know, Mark. So I feel we need to step up to the plate, and we need to try to narrow that gap, that ratio that we're talking about. Because when I go up there and they say that the American Counseling Association is ratio 250 to 1, and that's the American, you know, Counselors Association, and I look at our numbers and we're not even close to that in some areas. And of course, Texas Counselors Association, and correct me if I'm wrong, is 350 to 1. So again, let's try to close the gap, because, you know, I always think of myself, and I could have been one of those kids that got lost and wasn't reached. And it's like Jackie says, if a counselor is there on campus, they're fully invested into that campus, into those kids. It's not just a visiting counselor that comes once in a while. So yes, if we can find monies to hire 3 or 4 more counselors soon, as opposed to later, and I know it's difficult, and I know we've had our, you know, problems here. But I just have to step up to the plate for those kids, and I will, and I know, you know, we're all behind that, because when we ran, we did say we're there for the kids, and I hope I'm speaking for everybody here. So Just want to say that.
Just to, because of the information I have, I just want to point out, if I look at, let's say Silva, Silva, I know they're working hard. Last year we were at a D, but Silva has one counselor in charge of 639 kids, one counselor. If I look at Kleckler, with the information that I have, they have 453 kids to one counselor. They have two counselors, but each one, if I break it down, has 453 kids. If I look at Margot, they have two counselors of my information that I have. So each one, if I break it down, has 556 kids. All the other schools, their A's and B's, they have 300 and something kids per, except the exceptions are Memorial and Gonzalez, they're an A, and they have 500 and something kids per counselor. So, it's just, we have to help the schools that need the help. And that's one of our superintendent constraints is we shall help the schools that have the low resources and those scores. So that's why it's important for me also, especially right now, my eye is on Silva with a D with 639 kids for one counselor. That's a big one. So anything we could do, that would be great.
Good concerns. And of course, Dr. Rivera will, with his cabinet members and the committee, the finance committee members, to look into our finances and see if we can afford this year. If not, like Jackie mentioned, we plan ahead in the spring and add those positions and put it in the budget, and that way we'll have the allocations for those counselors. And I believe, we do need the counselors at every campus. And we'll just move forward on that.
Yes, good observations.
Yeah, thank you for the
We'll get
information
together
also.
and work something out.
That I agree with Trustee Jackie and Trustee Sustaita. I don't know why I said Jackie. Trustee Sustaita with respect to this concern, and I think, given our budget concerns, if we do need to find places to cut, we need to protect people that serve students directly, and I think that counselors serve students directly. So.
Okay, thank you. And there was just a discussion item. So let's go to number 11. Discussion and possible action to approve the hiring of Weaver to conduct a forensic financial audit of the 23-24, 24-25, and 25-26 school years as requested by Trustee Marcos de los Santos. Dr. Rivera.
I'll give him the floor.
Well, Mr. Board President, if I may, could I make a motion?
Yes.
Before I make the motion, I also just want to thank Trustee de los Santos for bringing this up and kept bringing it up. I want to thank you too, Mr. Nieto, for being board president and dealing with all of us on this too. I know that's not an easy job, and thank Dr. Rivera in advance for working with us on this and making sure that all the information gets passed on and working or coming up with a plan to fixing whatever we got to fix. But I'd like to make a motion to engage Region 1 to provide technical support to the district with respect to its current budget, engage our current external auditor to review our current budget numbers and to re-verify our fund balances for the 23-24 school year. They're currently working on last year's school year. And to authorize the board president, Trustee de los Santos, and Dr. Rivera to negotiate a fee with Weaver to present to the board for a potential forensic audit.
I'd like to, can I comment on that motion? Or we have to second? I'll second it.
You can second it, and then if we have any.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. De Los Santos. Any questions? We'll start, Mr. De Los Santos, since you mentioned it.
Yes, no, I just wanted to state, like I said, I didn't want to, we've had meetings since July, right? This all started back in June of 2025, and it started on a balcony at 5 in the morning, right? When we first started having conversations over the phone. We are in a situation like Trustee Castillo said. Everything that's been said, I've already said. I've posted it online for people to see. But the situation is we have a issue with our budget in which we are carrying, I believe, a deficit, right? Because you can see it in our savings from 23-24 to 24-25 and rolling over into 25-26. And we gave stipends and salaries on top of that, increasing that amount. And I'm talking about salaries here, right? And at the end of the day, with all due respect, and like I said, Dr. Rivera is highly respected, and this board as well. But the fact is, and kind of like I pointed today when I was asking questions, is that we have not had accounting on 25-26 either. And so time is crucial. We have a staff in that department that is not large, right? People seem to think that, oh, well, we have 15, 20 people in all these departments. It's 2 people that are working there, right? Working on the budget analysis for 24, 25, and they're trying to hit that date for February, and 25, 26 is still pretty much untouched and hasn't been accounted for. And then when we come back in January, like I was sharing with trustees on why is this so crucial, when we come back in January, we have to move fast for contracts, because people need to get hired and need to have that job security and safety as well too. And it's going to be a very short window to get that done. So this motion that Trustee Castillo has made is a very good motion, because it's bringing in a lot of additional resources, because time is of the essence. And especially the forensic audit, seeing the changes in our savings going from 65 to 59 to 57 to 51, and then on top of that we added a stipend as well, right? Possibly dropping us into the 40s already, and then expecting a hit again in 25, 26. So we can't take the district to critical levels, and that's why I asked my trustees again to please support this, because this is for our staff and our taxpayers to know the who, what, when, where, and why, and how this happened, and so we can prevent it from ever happening again. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. Los Santos.
Yes, sir.
Repeat the motion.
Can you clarify the motion?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes, so the motion was to engage Region 1 to provide technical support to the district with our current budget, engage our current external auditor to review the current budget numbers, because Region 1, they're not accountants, right? They provide technical support.
Supervisor.
To our current external auditor to review current budget numbers and re-verify our fund balances for not this last year, but the year before. They're currently working on this year. And to authorize the board president, Trustee De Los Santos, and Dr. Rivera to negotiate a fee with Weaver to present to the board for a potential forensic audit.
And that would be for a possible special board meeting in January.
Correct.
And my question is,
I'm not okay with Weaver. I mean, I'm okay with the first part, but
Right.
Weaver is for fraud. Weaver is for something that was done, and there was no fraud.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the first part, but I'm not okay with Weaver.
And the only reason I say that, well, kind of like Dr. Rivera's mentioned, is that you have allegations by high-level staff, the ones that actually analyze and do projections for budgets, that state that they gave a analyzed and projected budget in the spring of '24 that was not used and discarded, and another budget was utilized. And as you can see, we've been getting budget presentations every single month in 25, 26 that are not based on any accounting whatsoever. So all those concerns, like I said, and the document I just showed you and I gave you all in your hands, it shows you that we have not been getting accurate information. I don't want to use terms as far as misleading, but that's exactly what I feel they are. If I have to say it.
And I put on the update that it was incorrect information. So it wasn't fraud, and the individual that did this is no longer here. But I can tell you, the staff and I, we know what we're doing. We know what the problem is. We had an advisory meeting on Friday.
Correct.
And I explained to the board the information that we have. So we're going to be okay with the audit for 24, 25.
Like I told my trustees.
There was an item there, and I'll give you the update. The item there on the report stated that we were in the red $14 million, and we have justification for that. So again, the board was there on Friday, and I explained the justification. So again, I'm okay with everything, but I'm not in favor of the forensic audit because it was very expensive last time, over 300,000, and we found nothing.
Well, and that's why
This one wouldn't be 300,000, so I don't want to use scare tactics.
It was last time.
But
It was over 300,000, yes it was.
But that's why I would like before taking action on a forensic audit,
To get a,
for you guys to go get a cost so we know what we're diving into if we do decide to go that route.
The motion is a quote. The motion isn't not to proceed. The
Right.
motion is, let's get a quote.
And I will tell trustees is this, and that's all I'm going to say. This is the last time I'm going to say it. You're going to have to explain how you went from $65 million to the 30s within just 2 years. And you're going to have to explain how all your safety nets failed.
Come again.
Because information, well, because I'm predicting that you're already in the 40s now.
In the 40s what?
September, you were presented that you were at 65 million. In November, you were presented with construction that's already going on that you're at 51. And you just gave a stipend that you did not have budgeted.
Well, the board approved that, the stipend.
Well, of course.
Okay. So let me go back again, and I'll explain this as I did to the committee. Right now, we have a 91 days on the fund balance for 24, 25. There's a fund balance of 91 days. and we'll explain what that is. There were expenses, yes, but they're paid for.
I say we just go and get the, like I said, I like his motion, we just get a bid, and then we bring it back to the board at that time.
Okay, so right now is just to get a bid for
Yes, sir.
a quote, and then we'll have a special board meeting to
Right.
vote on it.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we have a motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. Los Santos, and if the quote is too high, then we can reach out to Region 1 or MoKC or whichever, if they have a better rate.
I have the scope of work, yes, already ready.
Okay? Any other questions?
I just want to clear up because, I mean, you know, like Ben said at the last meeting, when it comes to numbers and finances, it's hard for me to understand. And I know LSG, our coach tells us, talk to everybody as if you're in a 6th grade classroom so it can be easy to understand. And so I was a little still confused when we say a budget deficit. I even had to look up Google, what does that mean? A budget deficit happens when spending exceeds revenue, right? Okay, so I was thinking in my head, oh my gosh, we are Weslaco, we are in the -0. We have no rainy day fund, we have nothing. Are we broke? What's going on? But that's not what's happening, correct?
No, you're just taking out your savings, you're draining your savings.
Okay, so we have like our rainy day, our savings, and what you're saying is because of all these things, we're kind of dipping into our savings.
Right. A
And
payroll.
we are not at 0 and going below that.
We've been told for a year that we don't have a payroll overage, right, for 24-25, that came in from 23-24, right? We said, oh, we took care of the $15 million ESSER deficit. Data shows that somehow we rolled over millions of dollars of payroll to 24-25, right? Now, on top of that, you have accusations from whistleblowers that create the budget saying, hey, you all didn't get the right information before 24-25. You had a salary overage, and then you went and gave stipends, $6 million to staff, and you gave them raises, which you can't afford. And then the same situation happened for 25-26 as far as outcries, right? And then the numbers, but we don't have numbers for 25-26 right now, and we're in December.
So when you say raises, but the state gave us money for that?
No, I'm talking about 24-25.
Okay,
Remember,
last year,
we were
not
the only,
this year.
We were the only district to give raises and stipends last year.
Okay.
But their claim out there with the whistleblower is that their budget was discarded, was not used, and another budget was provided. I only know the facts is that we had a budget that was $200 million at the beginning of the year, and I'll post this online. It's very simple. We had $200 million at the beginning of the year, we were told. We ended up spending well over. It was 223, it might have gone down because they were transferring employees to federal and things like that. But we were still over on payroll. So we didn't hire millions of dollars of staff that year. So that's what, all these things combined are red flags, right? And like I said, even just basically being presented by the district, September, they told you 65 million. October, they told you 59. November, you got told 57, down to 51 because of construction. And then, so 51 minus 3 or 2.8 million, you're in the 40s, right? Logically, because that's the last update we had. So now we're in the 40s, and then there's strong rumors and rumors out there that logically, because if you carried a bubble from 23-24 to 24-25, and you just made it bigger because you gave local state raises, but you got a bubble waiting for you in 25-26. All I'm saying is once we get into May and June, if we don't act fast and find out how it happened and where it happened and what it truly is, we have contracts to give out. We always give out contracts in March. And that's a small time window for departments and staff and professionals and non-professionals. I mean, for them, for everyone here, for leadership, to figure out, okay, who do I have coming back and who can I afford and who can I cannot? Because
Like I told the board, we're going to reduce staff.
Exactly.
We're going to do it already. I told the board we're 300 kids below, so some staff has to be through attrition. So again, we've got a plan, but again, if you want to, and I'm okay with Region 1, but I'm not okay with the forensic audit because that's for fraud.
Okay.
We're trying to save money, and here we're going to add another 200,000 or whatever it is.
It won't be 200,000.
200, well, whatever it is, we don't know.
Okay.
But in my summary, we're not at 0 and going under. We still have our rainy day fund.
Correct.
It's
You have
still
some
there.
left, yes.
Okay.
The rainy day fund, just so I can be clear again, for the audit, for 24-25, we have a 91-day fund balance plus all the expenses that we did. And I showed you all the projects that we did.
Correct.
And we still have the 91 days as of the 24-25 school year. Now, going 25-26 is going to be different because now you got other expenses. And like I said, I was given wrong information by the ones that's no longer here, so I'll take responsibility, but for 24, 25, for the fund balance, we're okay, 91 days.
And so now that you say responsibility, we need to hold people accountable who knew about this, or, you know, you can't just say, well, it was just him. If somebody knew about this and things weren't being said, we need to hold people accountable, because we can't just ignore it and say, well, it was just this top person. If, like Mr. Little Santos is saying, the people knew about it and nothing was done, we need to get to the bottom
Nothing
of
was
that
done because
too.
no one came to me.
And that's a problem.
No one came to me with the whistleblowers, no one came to me. They
Why?
went out there and told different people, told the board, but they never had the courtesy to come to me and tell, hey, what's the problem? Never.
That's very upsetting.
To me,
you
it
know?
is too.
So, okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
I
And
just want to clarify one thing.
clarify.
Given all the information, we are taking corrective actions to address this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And
That's all I need to know.
We're taking-
Yes,
yes.
With this motion, yes.
Because we're gonna reduce staff, we're gonna reduce expenses, because we have to do that. And that's,
But to finish off on that and follow up on that, is that we've never talked about reducing staff. We never talked about pulling a stipend, and those people are gonna deserve an answer as well too, just like our community as well. It is historic. Districts struggle just to save $1 million a year. And we're going down, and we are continuing to slide. I said at a very fast rate, and we have a responsibility as trustees. I'm not talking about a team of 8 here. I'm just talking about as trustees, just like Trustee Sustaita said, right on point. We have answers to give as well, not only just to taxpayers, but also to every single person who doesn't come back next year. At the end of the day, we're here for accountability. Now, whether the admin and the district want to take a different approach on accountability, that's up to them.
oh, no.
But as trustees, we have accountability to the city and to our taxpayers.
We're gonna take accountability.
And again, on the recommendation of Mr. Ben Castillo, he said to have a school board committee, and we started last Friday. We had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Rivera and his cabinet, and Dr. Jaime and Coach Cuella joined me, and so that information will be provided to all the board of trustees from Dr. Rivera,
Yes.
and we will continue to meet every month or every fourth week, whatever I need to do, and then go forward.
Yeah.
So
Let me just say,
yes, sir.
is there a problem right now? Yes, there is. Okay. And this problem was after I saw all the information given to me that was incorrect. Do we have a problem? Yes. Can we correct it? That's the goal, that we have to correct it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Ben Castillo, second by Mr. Los Santos, and we understand the motion, correct?
Yes.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Okay, good. One opposed, motion carries. We'll continue. 12, closed meeting to discuss personal matters, discussion regarding superintendent's recommendation on contracts for certified professional, non-certified professional, and non-contractual personnel. 12A2, discussion regarding resignations, retirements of certified professional, non-certified professional, and non-contractual professional. 12A3, discussion regarding superintendent's recommendation for the position of head football coach, athletic coordinator for Weslaco East High School. Then we have 12B, consultation with attorney regarding Texas Government Code Section 551071, pending or contemplated litigation, settlement offer or matter in which the duty of the attorney of the Weslaco Independent School District under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. And 12B, discussion and consideration regarding cost number CL 242115J, Megan Rios versus Weslaco ISD, in the County Court at Law number 10 of Hidalgo County, Texas. It is 7:20, and we will go into executive session. Okay, so we reconvene in open meeting. It is 8:02. 13A, possible action if necessary on items discussed in closed meeting. 13B, discussion of possible action regarding superintendent's recommendation of contracts for certified professional, non-certified professional, and non-contractual personnel. Dr. Rivera.
Recommend approval.
Move to approve?
Second?
We have a motion by Coach Cuellar, second by Mrs. Sustaita. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 13C, discussion of possible action regarding the resignations, retirements of certified professional, non-certified professional, and non-contractual personnel. Dr. Rivera.
Recommend approval. After discussion,
Move to approve?
Second?
We have a motion by Coach Cuellar, second by Mrs. Sustaita. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 13D, discussion of possible action regarding superintendent's recommendation for the position of head football coach, athletic coordinator for Weslaco East High School. Dr. Rivera.
We had 6 very good candidates. And the top 3, in no particular order, and these 3 are just very good candidates. Carlos Cuellar, Michael Brown, Alfredo Guzman, 3 good individuals. I wish we could hire all 3, but the committee has recommended Carlos Cuellar.
I move to approve?
Second?
We have a motion by Coach Cuellar, second by Mrs. Sustaita, to recommend Coach Cuellar for the head football coach, athletic coordinator for the Weslaco East High School. Any discussion?
He's here, Coach.
Yeah, do we want him to speak first, or do we speak
No,
first?
we're gonna.
Okay.
Let's
I just want to say, if this passes right now with the motion, well, I guess I'll just wait until after the motion, after we vote.
Okay.
Yeah. I would just say outstanding candidates and outstanding candidates, and obviously it sounded like it was an intense interview process and that all of them bring major qualities, so kudos to all those that interviewed.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, motion carries. Now we can have Dr. Rivera introduce Coach Cuellar.
Coach Cuellar?
East side, strong side.
Congratulations. Coach Cuellar, and the podium right here. And again, like Mr. Los Santos mentioned, quite a number of candidates, all excellent candidates. But the committee, we went with the committee recommendation and the principal's recommendation, and we'll move forward. So all East programs will prosper and go forward. But before we continue, I know Jackie wanted to say something first. So
Yes, I just, before we give Coach Cuellar a chance to speak, I just want to say I'm very excited. I feel like we're making history right now because you are the first Weslaco East Wildcat graduate who will be the athletic coordinator at East. You know, the kids have responded to you very well. You have great passion for sports. You have a great background in what you do, and we're just so excited to see you make Weslaco East successful again. Thank you.
Dr. Jaime.
Congratulations, Coach. I've heard a lot of great things about you, and look forward to seeing what you can do with the kids there at East with all the programs, not just football. And just good luck, and you've got the support of the board behind you there.
Thank you, sir.
Coach Cuellar. Oh.
Sorry.
Well, we've got, now you're going to have a head football coach named Cuellar and a head band director named Cuellar.
Oh, yes.
And a board member named Cuellar. But just for the record, we are related but very distant, so I don't think there's a nepotism thing here. And I know that you and Dr. Gamboa are going to work very closely together, because I know you well enough to say that you're not there for yourself. You're there for every kid at Weslaco East. And
Yes, sir.
And you said it well when I left, that I took care of every single individual. It was the classroom first and everything else second.
Yes, sir.
I know that's what you're about, and we're very happy to have you there. The candidates that applied are excellent, excellent people, but because you are from East, it makes it a little more special. So congratulations, Dr. Gamboa, excellent choice. And Coach Roman, I know you guys will work well together. And
Mr. Ben Castillo?
Yes, just congratulations. Looking forward to the progress that you're going to make, and excited for those kiddos.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Serna?
Yeah, congratulations, Carlos, and I'm just going to waive my time to hear you talk.
Yes.
So,
Mr. Los Santos?
Well, sir, congratulations. And I wish you the best and all the success for you and then all those programs and all those coaches. I think one of the main things that we had discussed too is just taking it to the next level.
Yes, sir.
A respectful, positive, and professional environment for not only just those students, but all those coaches as well. And just building them, right?
Yes, sir.
And so congratulations. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Jaime is going to give you 3 minutes to do a speech, but no.
Oh, man.
Oh, hold on, before. Dr. Rivera.
Yeah. Coach, what I told Coach Cuellar and Coach Roman, I tell you the same thing. What I tell the principals and my staff, very simple. Here's the ball, don't fumble.
All right, Coach.
Wait. Very important. Your first play of the season, you got to run the Rivera special.
So, Coach Cuellar, you got 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for this opportunity. Without God, nothing's possible. That's number one. There's a few people I'd like to recognize. I'd like to recognize my wife, Christine, my children, Carlissa, Carly, Charlie. Thank you for always inspiring me to be the best version, the best coach, and the best, person to give these kids, somebody to look up to. And, other people that I would like to recognize is of course, my mom, my sister, my brother, my family. They've always been by my side throughout everything. And without them, of course, family's everything. I would like to recognize Dr. Rivera. Thank you for the opportunity. School board members, thank you. Dr. Gamboa, thank you, sir. Mr. Rodriguez, thank you as well, and everyone else, WISD. And it's just a full circle moment for me. I've had so many experiences, and I'm ready to pour back into our kids. I'm ready to pour back into our kids, our community. I'm all about being, WISD and serving the community, serving everybody. And this is just a full circle moment because I still remember playing street football down 11th Street and seeing Dr. Rivera pull in his blue Lincoln Town car. And the most incredible thing was he always took time to stop and wave at us. And that made us feel like $1 million. So, being able to come back, sir, and to serve you and our kids and our community, it just means a lot more. And I can promise you that kids are going to be treated right. They're going to be valued for who they are. They're going to be known for their character. They're going to be developed physically, and most important, they're going to be loved. They're going to be loved and cared for. Coaches, staff members, administrators, everybody's going to be respected. We're going to collaborate together. Because at the end, everyone here in this room is here for the best interest of the kids. That's the end goal. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who gets credit. It doesn't matter if my name's on it. It doesn't matter if his name's on it. Hey, let's just figure it out together and give our kids the best, because that's what they deserve here at WISD, which is a second to none district. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Dr. Rivera, any final comments?
Well, we got one more item.
We have one more?
Yes, sir, I was waiting.
Oh, okay. My fault.
13E.
Yeah. But any comments on the coach?
No, I already told him. Here,
Okay.
come on. Don't fumble.
All right. 13E, discussion and consideration of possible action regarding cost number CL 242115J, Megan Rios versus Weslaco ISD in the County Court at Law, number 10 of Hidalgo County, Texas. Dr. Rivera.
Mr. Board President, if I could make a motion. I make a motion for the board to authorize legal counsel to decline offer as discussed in closed session.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Coach Cuellar. Oh, or Jackie. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Adjournment.
So move.
8:12. All right.